All right, hey guys, I'm Nick with Table 19 Media, and today I wanted to give you a timeline breakdown of a video, a promo that I shot for a local high school football team at their morning workout and practice at the beach. So I wanted to just walk you through the timeline, how I put it together, how I used different sound effects and music and clips and stuff, and just how I shot it and also compiled it in Final Cut Pro. So first, let's go ahead and watch the promo, and then afterwards we'll start going through the timeline.
Dolphin Vision.
I want to see you compete today. Leave everything out here. Our last workout of the first quarter of this year. I want to see you compete and get after one another today. Let's have an unbelievable workout. You got me? Ready. Here we go. Today, you're a different team. Today, we're a better team.
First, let's go over how this was shot. So on the day, this is 6:30 in the morning. I have my Sony A7 III and my G Master 24-70 lens on there, so I have so I can get that 2.8 aperture on with that lens. Because it is outside, even though it is early in the morning, I did have to put a variable ND filter on that camera so that I could still maintain that shallow depth of field even in the bright sunlight, so I could turn that down or turn the filter up and down as I needed for those shots. That morning it was very cold. Even though it was at the beach, it was very cold. So everybody's, you can see in the video, all the coaches are pretty bundled up, and the guys are running around, so they're staying warm. But for me, it was very cold, and I would say I was a little bit unprepared for how cold it was. But for this day, I'm just told by the coach, hey, I want you to come shoot the practice that we're having at the beach. So I'm going into a situation where I just need to capture as much footage as I can of everything that's going on, and then in editing, put it together in a chronological way that just gives a great overview of all the work that the team and coaches are putting into getting ready for the next season, and also the fun that they're having at the beach throughout the day, throughout that morning. So first thing I wanted to do was make sure that I mic up the coach. So I have a lapel mic that records to a little pack. Also, it's self-contained. I'm not worrying about frequencies or something like that. Just self-contained. I'm using the DR10L. And so I had the coach mic'd up on the lowest gain possible because he's pretty loud on his own. That's mic'd up, and I put the mic, I don't know if you'll be able to see if I can show you. where I would put the mic, just inside. I clipped it myself, put it just inside his jacket, so that we're reducing the amount of wind that's actually hitting the microphone. So that actually worked out pretty well. So I have an audio file of the entire practice, and I can sync that up to whichever clips I need to. So that worked out really well. Also on my camera, I have my camera with a battery grip and in a cage, so I can have a handle on it to help stabilize it. So I'm shooting this all handheld, and also have a microphone on top, so I'm capturing raw audio there better than just internal audio from the camera. So I do have a couple things to work with. So first thing, all of these clips right here are me going around waiting for them to get started, and just seeing, looking around and seeing, okay, that's a nice shot right there with the reflection. I like this shot with the wind blowing over a little bit of the sand. Just thinking, hey, these are possibly some clips that I can use to kind of like the calm before the storm, if you will, to create that kind of of scene and emotion before they get started. I think there might be, no, that's it. So those were, just before we're getting started. Let's talk a little bit about these clips right here. So I'm using, as far as audio, I'm using these two. I believe they're from Lens Distortions, some from their audio special effects pack, just to create some. Let me turn that up. Yeah, just to create a little bit of a underscore with what's about to happen. Just fill in so it's not quite you're just dead audio. I didn't quite want to play music right off the bat like that. I just want to set the scene that, hey, it's a nice beautiful day, nice beautiful morning, and then they get started. So we have the audio from the coach right here.
I want to see you compete today. Leave everything out here. Our last.
These clips right here, where I actually edited those a little bit later in the edits, where I just had the idea, as a little foreshadowing, to show these quick little clips.
Here, our last workout of the first quarter of this year. Just
a little bit of foreshadowing, before we get into all this stuff. So I believe this is just used from the that same clip right here, and I just took that and just doubled it over here. Thinking back to it, I probably should have reversed it or just found a little bit of clips so they didn't sound exactly the same. But it's one of those details that I don't think anyone really noticed. But going back, it was probably something I would definitely change. It worked out well to have this nice group shot of the students, before they get going. They're absolutely freezing right here. But then, cut over to, while he's still talking, to get these kids taken off. And again, it's me just kind of running around trying to find, okay, what looks good, get a different blend of shots. We have this wide shot, we have this, this medium shot right here, closer up shots right here of them, just to break up. So it's just not a monotony of wide shots. And that's something that I've learned, over the years, is that I got to get a variety of shots, not just a whole bunch of wide shots or just a whole bunch of close-up shots, but a variety of shots. And that definitely came in handy. You'll also notice in this, so this is where let's go. So this is where the music comes in, right there. So I chose this piece of music, Hill, Our Last Stand. I got this piece of music, licensed it on Soundstripe, and I wanted a piece of music that was going to have that intensity to it, not crazy intensity, but that building intensity that the coach was really looking for, that mentioned the kind of music that he was interested in having for the video. So I came to this clip, and I think it worked out really well. You'll see a little bit later that I did have to trim it down because it goes to a slow a slow section, and the slow section was a lot longer than I really needed it to be. So there's a little bit of trimming I did. I'll show you that later in the timeline. But you'll also notice that as I'm going through, I'm actually using the audio from some of the video clips, on the microphone. Because I did like having a little bit of that in the background of, the coaches' whistles, the coaches yelling at the kids, giving instruction. And I thought that was important, to have that in there, not just music, but, have more of that ambient sound of, what's taking place there on the beach. So I thought again, that worked out pretty well. It's not on every clip. You'll see right here. Yeah, you'll see them yelling and stuff. Yeah, so I think it just helped with the the intensity that the coach and the coaching staff have, and hearing hearing what the kids are doing. I thought worked well with all of that. Let's go over towards the end of the edit. After I sent the coach the initial edit, he mentioned that he wanted to find a few clips of that featured the some of the coaching staff. So that's where these clips right here is above the normal timeline right here. Is that I needed to find a couple clips to make sure that some of the coaches are in them. So I just put that on top. So it's just easier, instead of me fiddling with the magnetic timeline, just dropping that on top, and then I can trim it however I need to. So again, just going through this. I'm also filming. All of this is being filmed actually in 120 frames a second, which means that I need to, in order to go along with the 180 degree shutter rule, that means I have to turn the shutter up to 240. So altogether, that gives me the ability to slow any clip down that I would want, like one of these. I have the ability to, slow a clip like this down if I want to. But if I'm playing it in real time, it also, because of that higher shutter speed, it also gives you a little bit more intensity in the clip. So it's not as smooth as the normal, 24 and 48 shutter speed. So for a video like this, where you want that intense feeling, I thought that all worked well. So let's go ahead and skip ahead to things right here. You can see I used a marker right here because that's going to tell me, I think right there, like where the music, where in the music, the feel changes. And so I'm just using that so that I know about the time to switch clips. So when I do that by right here, you just hit, I'll do it right now. You just hit M, and that's going to add a marker. That's going to add a marker right there. So if I highlight this and hit M, that's going to add a marker right there. And you can just remove it by right-clicking and hit delete. So we'll just go ahead and write that. So obviously, again, it worked out really well to, because we're shooting at sunrise, we have really nice lights, we're able to have some sun flares in all of that. Using the music, again, I love how it broke down the music right here and created a little bit of just a different feel to break up the pace and intensity of the video.
Here we go.
All right, so that's a great example of how this breakdown was it was in the original track. It was just too longer than I wanted it to be. So this is a situation where what I was going to do is I use this clip right here of the coach, walking, saying, "Let's go, here we go." And so using that to kind of bridge and bridge that gap and get us back to the more intense part of it. So that's just timing it out where I'm using this to fade that music down, fade the next part in the song where it cranks back up, fade that in while this is while he's
Here we go.
Yeah, so I thought it just ended up working out really well after a little bit of tweaking, just to find the right timing between this clip and that clip, and using that to kind of, you know, bridge the two of those. So going back, keep watching through.
Here we go.
Cool. So again, this is an example of, you know, obviously, like we're getting, you know, I'm getting, you know, shots, you know, down, and you got great, you know, depth of field, you know, focusing on the first player right there, and, you know, with the rope and stuff, great depth of the field. Also, I'm trying to get, you know, also getting a lower shot, you know, pointing up a little bit, to create just more, again, more variety of images. And again, we're shooting at the, you know, we're shooting at, you know, sunrise, so we got great, you know, golden hour type, color, you know, especially in their hair. You can see that, and you know, a little bit of a lens flare right there coming through. So just a great atmosphere, great scenario to work in. Another example of just wanting, you know, a little bit more variety and showing some more kids in that the coach wanted. So you pop this clip on top as well. Yeah, overall, it was pretty, you know, the timeline to me isn't necessarily that complicated. It's just making sure that I'm picking the right clips and going down and popping them in the timeline. And I'm just the nature of this video, there's not a whole lot of sound effects and stuff extra, and that needs to go on top or the bottom. So altogether, it's just combing through the footage to find the right clip that makes sense, and still try my best to stay chronological with it. All right.
Today you're a different team.
Cool. So this is an example of, obviously, wants the coach to, you know, I like the coach talking to the players right here, and I have to do a little bit of, you know, creative license with, you know, you have the today you're a different team.
Today you're a different team.
And, you know, just breaking that up so that you just create a little bit more, you know, drama with, you know, with the line, so it's not just going so quickly. Just because I also wanted to get these clips in there of them. You know, at the end of it, you know, the coach, you know, told me he was going to play a prank on the guys and tell them that, hey, they were going to go waist deep into the water, and the water's absolutely freezing. It's April, it's first thing in the morning, and the water's absolutely freezing. So he lined them all up and, you know, started walking to it, but then you know, called it off. But you know, one guy, two guys, five guys just run into the water and, you know, start playing around. It's absolutely freezing. I can't believe they did it, but in the video it looks like they actually went in there as a team. That's not exactly what happened, but great, I think, great team camaraderie for them all jumping in there and you know, and going for it. So but I wanted to make sure I showed those clips, so I had to add this little break right in here, which is let's see what they call it under edit, insert generator, a gap. Okay, they just call it a gap. So just adding a gap in there, and I can, you know, change it however I need to, but just enough to let me get that clip in there without it being such a big pause in between when he finishes his little speech. Again, I'm adding right here. I want to be able to control, you know, the audio going down. So what I'm doing is holding Option and just clicking on here, and that gives me a little keyframe that I can adjust. And so, you know, you have one keyframe here, then another keyframe just a little bit low, so that you can keep that, and then, you know, raise that up or down. Let me get rid of that keyframe. And the same thing, you know, on the way up again. On the way up again, right there. And so then when we get to the thing, this is another thing where I'm using the same clip, but I'm just using the end of it, because we're not going to use the whole thing. We didn't want the video to be so long, so so we're ending it right. We're ending that the regular music right there, but we're using the last part of this song, of this music track, to create the boom that you get with the, you know, the strings, the sustained strings at the very end right here. Cool. So that altogether, I thought it came out really well. I'm glad I was able to capture all the stuff I was able to capture, on that day. They really loved the video, and it was really the whole community. The whole community is excited for the football team this year with a new coach. So altogether, I thought this came out well. You guys let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this timeline, or any or shortcuts or techniques that I used in here. Please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. Make sure you guys you get the most out of this video as much as possible. Feel free to like this video and also subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.